Welcome back to Bat Fridays here on One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Batman issue 19 in the second story, Atlantis Goes to War. I was not expecting a big, fantastical World War II story when it comes to Batman. Superman didn't really have big, fantastical stories, except for that one that had gremlins, the one where Hitler gets possessed by some sort of prankster spirit at the end. That story, that one I like more than others, even though it's not a great story, but it's a lot more fun than a lot of other stories. And remember, I want fun in 50s comics. Well, 40s comics. We're actually in the 40s. I'm getting confused because where I am in Superman is in the 50s in Superboy. But this is a legitimate big fantastical story, and I wish Superman had had more stories like this. Good job, Don Cameron. And of course, artist Dick Sprang, who is continuing to be my favorite Batman artist, maybe my favorite artist of the 1940s. This just looks fantastic throughout. So yeah, big fantastical story involving Nazis. I did not expect that or have that on my bingo card. Just love this story. It's so much fun. So Nazis are getting away with destroying our ships because they have a secret base underwater. Oh no! Whatever will we do? Batman decides to go investigate, and it turns out that they are working with Atlantis. Atlantis is real, though not the Atlantis we'll come to know, or the Atlantis that showed up in Superman for that one story where it collapsed, and I think it was the one where he fell in love with a mermaid. There's a lot of underwater city stories in Superman. Not a lot, maybe 4 to 5. I don't know what I'm saying at this point, but there was a few. But there was one Atlantis one where the underwater city sadly perished. Here it's Atlantis helping the Nazis because the Nazis are lying about being for truth and justice and all that, so they're helping destroy the evil Allied forces. I don't feel like Nazis could have hidden this very well, seeing that they love Aryans so much. They even complain at one point about how the Atlanteans aren't Aryans. And sometimes the story gets kind of lost on like explaining how Atlantis exists, which is fun in lore, maybe kind of kills the pacing of the story a bit. Batman and Robin are put on trial as they go down there. By the way, according to this lore, Atlantis uses a massive vortex technology or magic they have to bring in oxygen like once a month. What a wonderful idea. I love this comic. And they were put on trial by the king and, well, prince and princess. They're brother and sister, not married, and Robin has a huge crush on the sister. They believe the Nazis because of, well, they have 100 Nazis and only 3 people to defend America. Batman, Robin, and some old sailor they picked up. He's actually not really all that important to the story. He could have gone or left. He has a kind of tragic ending, but it's hard to feel any emotion for him because we're getting lost in the Nazis in the Atlantis portion of the story. His name's Ben. And get this, Batman's going to be put to death using... wow, this is hard to get through. Using a magnifying glass to just point a ray of sun directly into his head. Luckily, Robin escapes, knocks out the prince, and does a little Prince and the Pauper into it. Yeah, there's kind of a lot going on in this story, but none of it feels like a whole new story or a whole new concept coming up. Robin just quickly replaces him and becomes the prince and orders her not death. And as soon as the Nazis run into some conflict with the Atlanteans, they're immediately putting a gun to the prince's head, which is a bad idea when Batman and Robin are around and you're pointing a gun at Robin. So they're easily defeated and possibly executed by the Atlanteans. I'm not sure how I feel about that part, Batman. Yes, they're Nazis. I really care less about them living in general compared to other human beings. Oh no, it's a political statement about Nazis being bad. I can't believe that's a political statement in 2025. But it is. Nazis are awful. Don't feel bad about saying that. They deserve to be punched. With that, they then leave the world and, well, the Atlanteans apparently do help us, just in very small ways. Though they were helping the Nazis greatly, why won't they help us well? And Robin just mainly complains about missing the woman he'll never see again. Unless, well, in modern comic book continuity, all continuity was restored in death metal. So she could exist now. She could be in Atlantis with Aquaman. There's still a chance, Dick. Except for the fact that I like you with Barbara, Batgirl. If you're one of those Firestar shippers, you are wrong. But just in the end, I had so much fun during most of the story, and it looks great, and the action's great. It's funny. They're punching around guys. They're punching around Nazis while Batman's 66 type jokes, which is such a dissociation with the trauma that is Nazis. But hey, it's fun. Okay, that is it from Batman 19, Atlantis Goes to War. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notification when new videos up. I do this Monday through Friday. But Mondays and Thursdays, I cover a Superman or Superboy story in their comics. There's 4 of them. And please join us next time, same bat day, same comic book channel. Have a great day.